in the Nigerian Army, and to be specific, the Jaji Cantonment. This afternoon, I am Benny Adams, your guide. The commissioning we're about to witness here at the Jaji Cantonment is part of activities of the first quarter conference. The conference is actually an avenue for the Army, the top actually in the Army, to review activities of the first 4 months, the first quarter, and plan into the second quarter. And as we've witnessed here today, the Nigerian Army is not just about training and retraining of its personnel, but they have also embarked on infrastructural development. In a short while, we're going to be witnessing the commissioning of the headquarters of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry. This is also one out of some other structures that will be commissioned today. This is a massive structure, well furnished, with office, accommodation. We have conference halls, well air conditioned, and stocked with state-of-the-art furniture, as well as equipment that will enhance the productivity of the men and officers of the Nigerian Army Corps of Infantry. The Army Corps of Infantry is regarded as the queen of the battle, and they are trained to kill. This same group of persons are doing the country proud in the Northeast, as well as other theaters of conflict in and around Nigeria. You will agree with me that the Nigerian Army, from inception, has been engaged within and outside this country. From the Nigerian Civil War to the crisis in Congo, as well as the first Liberian Civil War. They also intervened to ensure peace returned to Sierra Leone. We had the invasion of the Gambia. All of this is being achieved with the provision of the required learning environment. This edifice that is about to be commissioned today is one of those steps directed at equipping the Nigerian Army for better service delivery.
This is announcing the arrival the Chief of Army Staff, Nigerian Army, Lieutenant General Tukro Yusuf Buratai.
the level of infrastructural development in Jaji cantonment actually shows the level of transformation of the Nigerian army, particularly its institutions, in the past 4 years. The Nigerian Army School of Infantry, NASI, here in Jaji, is a citadel of military training.
The general salute we just had heralded the arrival of the #1 seat of the Nigerian Army, Lieutenant General Tukru Yusuf Buratai, Nigerian Army Medal, Order of Military Merit Brazil, Grand Service Star, Past Staff Corps Daga, National Defense College in Bangladesh, Bachelor of Arts degree Hans, Masters of Arts, Master in Philosophy, Field Command Medal of Honor, Foreign National Honor Award Medal. Permit me, sir, to stand on existing protocol as already established at Iyejirika Auditorium. I am Master Warrant of Santonidan, Defense Coordinator, Nigerian Army School of Infantry. I am the Master of Ceremony for this unique and remarkable day. Please permit me at this juncture, without much talking, call on the Commandant, Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Major General D.H. Ali Kefi, to please deliver his welcome address, and thereafter invite the Corps Commander Engineer to please speak on this very project. It will be followed by the guest of honors remark and then the commissioning proper. The Commandant Nasisa.
Thank you very much, myself, the Chief of Army Staff, sir, senior officers, hired, distinguished invited ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, and specifically the soon to be commissioned and declared open the new NASI headquarters complex. Today is like a dream come true for many of us. Military men are not expected to show emotions, but we are overwhelmed by the revolution that has been ongoing at Jaji and elsewhere in the Nigerian Army formations and units. For those of us who are familiar with Jaji, will know the decay in terms of infrastructure if you recast 5 years backward. But today, there has been a remarkable transformation in the infrastructure of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry and other establishments here in Jaji. It is not just only infrastructure, even the training has undergone tremendous transformation, and that is what is also behind some of the successes that we've been witnessing in our operations. The Chief of Army Staff has done tremendously well. We cannot thank him enough. Perhaps we may not attribute anyone that is being responsible, being the father of the Nigerian Army. But in my own humble opinion, Lieutenant General Tukuru Yusuf Buratai is the father of a new Nigerian Army. Permit me to say that before taking up this appointment as the Commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, I was the Director of Training Army. From 2015 to 2018. At one point, the Chief of Army Staff directed me, that was early on, late 2015, to undertake an assessment tour of the entire schools and institutions of the Nigerian Army. I did that, and I turned in a report to the Chief of Army Staff. The report wasn't remarkable at all. In summary, that most of the Nigerian Army schools require a lot of effort to turn them around in terms of infrastructure. At that time also, we had received some requests from some foreign countries, notably African countries, for us to offer them slots to train their personnel here in Nigeria, in various schools. The state of our schools were not so remarkable, and it was the Chief of Army Staff who said that, God willing, will turn things around. And God willing, today we've seen remarkable transformation in not only the infrastructure, as I said, but in also the improvement in training. Without wasting much time, I want to assure the Chief of Army Staff that this is an honor done to us. The trust that you've bestowed on us, we will hold this trust the way it is supposed to be. We will maintain these facilities the way they should be maintained, and we will preserve them for generations and generations and generations to come and inherit and hopefully pass on to their next generations. On this note, permit me to humbly request the Corps Commander engineers to make a brief on the technical aspect and, of this project. The Corps Commander engineers, sir.
Our indefatigable Chief of Army Staff, senior officers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. When we were commissioning the Army War College in Nigeria, I had the privilege of giving a brief at that commissioning, and I said the only thing that is not done is if our Chief of Army Staff has not conceived it and said it out. Once he pronounces it, it is as good as done. When I took over as the Corps Commander, sometimes I visited him, and he had mentioned that we should bring a design for the School of Infantry, which we had already carried out. And then back and forth, we kept taking designs to him, and he will correct, change what's supposed to be here like that until we got the final approval. And then the journey began. Let me read what I have written on this building. It is with great honor and humility, sir, that I welcome you all to the commissioning of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry complex constructed by the Nigerian Army engineers under the direction of the Chief of Army Staff. This project is one of the numerous interventions of the Chief of Army Staff in fulfillment of his commitment towards improving institutions, structures, and facilities throughout the Nigerian Army. It will undoubtedly provide a more conducive environment for training in the Nigerian Army, thus achieving one of the cardinal pillars of his vision, which is to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles. This project was conceived by the Chief of Army Staff, and the groundbreaking ceremony was conducted on the 14th of April 2018. Funds were released to the Nigerian Army engineers, and construction commenced on the 25th June 2018. The Corps was tasked to execute the project by direct labor in collaboration with K-Salam Consorts, our technical partners. The structure covers an area of 2,800 square meters and consists of two sections. The front section is two-story, while the sides are single-story. The complex comprises the commandant's office with a private study room, offices for staff, a 300-seat auditorium, a simulation center which has two simulation rooms, a conference room, a library, officers/soldiers canteen, a printing press, and a mosque attached to the building. Public power supply to the complex is complemented by 2x250 kVA generators to provide alternative power. There is an Olympic-sized swimming pool, which is part of the build of this complex commissioning, but it is located at the YO block, where we will move from here to go and see. As you go through this magnificent edifice, you will observe that all the offices are tastefully furnished. The complex has specifically designed to provide a conducive working environment to facilitate effective planning and decision making in the discharge of the training responsibilities of the Infantry Corps. I am pleased to report that the project was completed within a period of 10 months, from June 18 to April 2019. It is pertinent to note that the project meets all specifications in design, quality, and cost effectiveness. All materials used in the project are of very high quality, and highly skilled craftsmen or artisans were employed in all the stages of construction. This is the first-class facility that sets new standards in the construction of office accommodations in the Nigerian Army. Let me state also that this collaboration with the technical partners has contributed to improving the Corps' image, that is the Nigerian Army's Corps' capability in executing direct labor projects. Our personnel deployed to the site have acquired additional knowledge, skills, and competencies in building construction methods. These competencies will no doubt be applied in other direct labor projects by the Corps. Please permit me to add that through the committed efforts of our chief, the Chief of Army Staff, the Nigerian Army Engineers has acquired greater capabilities and enhanced capacity to perform our roles in providing engineering support to the Nigerian Army. May I therefore seize this opportunity, sir, to, on behalf of the Nigerian Army Engineers, express the Corps' profound appreciation to you, sir, for this unflinching support and commitment towards improving our capabilities. We are grateful that you did not lose confidence in the engineers, despite the fact that you had to remove 2 corps commanders, but rather you gave us more assignments to drive us towards better performance. We thank you, sir. Indeed, we have become more professional since your assumption of command. May I appreciate the Commander's Corps of Infantry, that is the outgone and the current one, the Commandant Nasi, for their support. My officers and men told me how you gave them all the needed support in carrying out this project. I also want to thank all the general officers, commanders, and corps commanders. I recall that at the commissioning, most officers pledged and redeemed their pledges to support the building almost immediately. I want to thank all of you. On this note, sir, we present the edifice you sponsored, you designed, and asked us to design. We hope that we have met your specification as we go inside, sir.
That was the corps commander of the engineering corps, Major General A. Malu. Before him, we had the welcome address delivered by Major General S.O. Olabanji, who is a corps commander of infantry. At this moment, we're awaiting the remarks by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai.
It is on this note I want to most respectfully request the Corps Commander Infantry to most respectfully request the guest of honor, the #1 seat of the Nigerian Army, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, to please make his remark and officially commission the complex. The Corps Commander, sir.
The Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, the very senior officers from Defense and Army Headquarters, our invited guests, very senior retired Army officers, including past co-commanders of infantry and the commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry. Well, first of all, before I make my remarks, I want to state that I was one time commandant of this school, and my office was somewhere there, and I think the commandant, I think from today he will move into the brand new office. That old building used to be the work production center of the School of Infantry, and it was highly inadequate, insufficient. Most of the staff officers and the clerical staff always jam-packed in one office or the other, cramped in one place, and there were inadequate space for even for them to keep, their files. Well, God I had my prayers, and my appointment as Chief of Army Staff, I said this should be the priority for me to really get a befitting edifice. And then the former commandant, Major Abdul Karim, where are you? Major Abdul Karim, K.I. Abdul Karim. Well, he started actually the concept, the development of, this particular office. I directed him, I said, I have an idea where, it should be located. And I said, it should be in this place. And we're able to come here and get the groundbreaking ceremony, started. And today we are ready for its formal commissioning. We give the glory to Almighty God and for all the personnel, officers and men, and especially the Commander and Nigerian Army Engineers who has worked tirelessly to ensure that the design and the construction were done as per directed. On this note, I will start by saying that I'm highly delighted to welcome you to the combined Chief of Army Staff First Quarter Conference and the Combat Arms Training Week 2019, and especially to the commissioning of projects that were embarked upon by the Nigerian Army. As you recall, I recently commissioned some completed projects, informations and establishment of Nigerian Army, including, as you may recall, training institutions such as the Nigerian Army School of Armor. More of such commissioning and of completed projects will be undertaken in the coming days, as mentioned by the Commandant of Nigerian Army School of Infantry in his remarks. It is a well-known fact that in the not too distant past, the state of infrastructure, facilities, and most crucially, combat supplies and equipment needed for our troops were in bad shape in many military formations. In terms of their serviceability state, the combination of the poor state and infrastructure coupled with faulty strategy undoubtedly affected morale of troops then, and consequently the fighting efficiency of Nigerian Army in ongoing operations. Mostly affected was the Operation Zaman Lafia, then renamed Operation Lafia Dole in the mid-2015. Fighting of combat efficiency of a force or an army is thus a function of several factors, including leadership, sound campaign operational plans, state of training, and that is intangible but vital factor, that is the morale. The state of morale of a soldier in turn is a function of, amongst other things, the work the condition of living, accommodation, as well as the place of work. The soldier also needs to know that he and his family have the cover of the military in case of medical emergencies and monthly of several other factors that are collectively referred to as welfare. It is for this reason that the Nigerian Army under my command prioritize the provision of serviceable equipment, platforms, medical facilities, and enhancing training. This is in accordance with my vision to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles. The Nigerian Army schools and institutions are crucial in attaining high-level training required in effective capacity building. The Nigerian Army School of Infantry and other Nigerian Army training schools have been playing and will continue to play important roles in Nigerian Army's quest for professionalism. It is therefore essential that everything is done to ensure that these vital institutions are well positioned to deliver on their mandates. The projects that are to be commissioned at Nigerian Army School of Infantry within the period of this conference are expected to further enhance the school's capacity to deliver qualitative training. Some of these projects that will be commissioned today and in the coming days, such as the new headquarters here, the watermanship training wing, the platoon response wing, blocks of classrooms, and administrative offices at the officer cadets training wing are all conceived and delivered to actualize these objectives. While some are brand new projects, others have been rehabilitated and remodeled from their previous states. Among these projects are the airborne rigger shed, the entire airborne training area, including all its apparatuses, the Dambaza student officers hostel, and the airborne students quarters. Ladies and gentlemen, no structure will last forever, but a structure is as good as the user. It is therefore implies that the lifespan of an item, structure, equipment, or facility can be extended for a considerable long period of time with proper maintenance. Accordingly, I have directed that maintenance and management of these facilities must be well planned and ensured. In this regard, the Young Officers Course, the Commanding Officers Course, as well as the Company Commanders Course accommodation that were earlier remodeled and renovated have such arrangements in place. I therefore charge the Commandant, Nigerian Army School of Infantry, and particularly the users of these and other facilities to take them as they would their personal property. At this juncture, I would like to thank the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, for the support to the Nigerian Army despite the tight budgetary constraints and competing priorities. We pledge our unalloyed loyalty to the Commander-in-Chief and to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let me also commend the Nigerian Army engineers that supervise the projects for a job well done. And also thank the team of civil companies that provided the different services that made this project a reality. I would like to also thank the Commander Infantry Corps, the immediate past Commander Infantry Corps as well, who is now General Officer Commanding Air Division, for his foresight and indeed leadership of the Infantry Corps in ensuring that training facilities are well maintained, as well as the mobilization and fourth generation of troops to fight across the various theaters of operation are done professionally. Let me use this opportunity to also congratulate the Commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, who will use this opportunity to be the first person to utilize this gigantic and beautiful edifice. Congratulations. Well, the congratulations will not be concluded without congratulating all infantry officers and indeed the soldiers. We have done a lot to improve the welfare of the troops and to improve also the training capacity of the officers. Many courses have been opened both at home and abroad for the infantry personnel, especially the instructors. When I was here as the commandant of the school, those of you that were here with me, you saw the efforts I made in renovation. A lot of things have been done, even when I was commandant. So it's a continuation of that effort, and to God be the glory. I want to most sincerely thank all of you for finding time to be here. And as we march in to see the beautiful edifice, I'm very much particularly pleased with the simulation center, although equipment are yet to be installed, but we will do that as quickly as possible. It's a force multiplier, and I'm sure the Director General Land Forces Simulation of Nigeria is here, Olukoju. So you take advantage, make sure this equipment is installed as quickly as possible. So once again, thank you and God bless all.
Major General Sarham, sir. Major General Sarham.
To the glory of God and benefit of all officers and men of the Nigerian Army, we commission this edifice, headquarters, Nigerian Army School of Infantry. So help us God. The headquarters complex project is initiated, constructed, furnished, and commissioned by me today, 24th April 2019. Glory of God.
As the Chief of Army Staff understood that the national
Yes, there we just witnessed the official opening and inauguration of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, NASI, here in Jaji.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me proceed.
The official hoisting of the flag marks the opening of this great edifice. It is a massive structure that is sitting on 280 square meters. This project lasted only 10 months. The official commencement of the project was in April.
Now we come to the entrance of the last headquarters to take a tour around.
You can't roll it.
Yes.
From here to so for that side.
So I should be going
That
there.
place was a jam.
I want to be going there.
You want to go in, you don't have to.
The Nigerian Army School of Infantry is a massive edifice that sits on 280 square meters. The project, which commenced 14th of April 2018, only had 10 months to be completed to this very stage. The structure houses the commandant's office with a private study. It has offices that are well furnished to taste. It has an auditorium that has a seating capacity of 300. It also has officers' canteen, a mini printing press, officers' canteen, as well as 2 simulation centers, though they are yet to be equipped. This, according to the Chief of Army Staff, is to create a better environment for training and retraining. This, no doubt, the Chief of Army Staff has turned around the once decay in infrastructure in this particular cantonment, talking about the Jaji cantonment, has been turned around. And what is expected from what we heard him say is a high-level training that will guarantee much more professionalism. And this is an effort that is aimed at positioning not just the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, but all other military institutions to deliver on their mandates. From here, we're also going to be witnessing inauguration of hostel accommodation, waterman training centers, weapons training areas, as well as cadet training wings, not leaving out the airborne training area, as well as some other student quarters. The Nigerian Army School of Infantry, the structure here, has an extension of an Olympic-sized swimming pool, which is not within the immediate vicinity, but just some meters away. This is all aimed at positioning this institution for better service delivery.
You want to go?
You will agree with me that this auditorium is furnished to standard. It is a 300-seat auditorium equipped with quality settees, well air-conditioned. It is a structure that will stand the test of time. From what we see, we have the finest materials deployed here. Also in this edifice are 2 simulation centers. Though the simulation centers, according to the Chief of Army Staff, are yet to be equipped, but very soon that will be done. That is a promise by the Chief of Army Staff. He's one person that when he says, he gets to accomplish. These are office accommodation equipped with the best you can imagine around. And the commandant's office has also a private study. It is a structure that is sitting on 280 square meters. It has a mini printing press. All of this is to ensure that the Nigerian Army School of Infantry does not go anywhere, but everything will be within the cantonment. If you ask me, I'll say for security reasons. Like I said earlier on, this edifice has an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Here we have past commanders and commandants of the Nigerian Army Corps of Infantry. The Corps of Infantry is regarded as the queen of the battle, and their motto is yield to nothing. They are the foot soldiers. They are the ones that are at the forefront in the Northeast to ensure the end of insurgency. Present here to witness this landmark achievement by the Chief of Army Staff as well as the Infantry Corps leadership are former commandants and commander of the Infantry Corps, both retired and serving. You will agree with me that yielding to nothing, talking about the Infantry Corps, have proven their might in different fields of engagement. Engagement in the Niger Delta, present engagement in the Northeast, as well as engagement in the Northern Mali War. We also have them participated in the invasion of the Gambia, restoring peace in Sierra Leone as well as Liberia. One core event they got to prove themselves is the crisis in Congo as well as the Nigerian civil war. Earlier on, as part of activities to mark the 2019 conference, first quarter conference, as well as the combat week, the Chief of Army Staff was at the conference where he delivered his opening remarks. It was an avenue to brainstorm and review the activities of the first quarter and their plans into the second quarter. For the Chief of Army Staff, these activities are actually aimed at ensuring a professionally responsive Nigerian army in the discharge of its constitutional roles. The conference also has experts, security experts from across the country, as well as some others from outside this country who converged here on Jaji to ensure that the security challenges being experienced is a thing of the past. While reviewing the first quarter report of 2019, the Chief of Army Staff commended officers and men, particularly the corps commanders, for their efforts at the various theaters of war in the country. He mentioned present efforts at Zamfara State, Kaduna State, the Northeast, as well as the successful conduct of ex-Igu Ike-3 and the Operation Safe Conduct, which was aimed at supporting the Nigerian police and civil authorities. He also commended the role of the Nigerian Armed Forces in the conduct of the successful 2019 general elections.
The choice of Jaji as the venue for this conference is for many reasons. Firstly, it affords officers of the Infantry Corps who just concluded their reunion to seamlessly migrate to the Chief of Army Staff's first quarter conference without having to embark on another journey. Secondly, it offers us the opportunity to see the level of transformation of Nigerian Army training institutions in the past 4 years, with Jaji as an example. This transformed citadel of military training provides the serene environment needed for us to brainstorm and appraise our performance in the first quarter 2019. We'll also, in the course of this conference, deliberate on key issues that will positively prepare and project us into the second quarter 2019 with a view to further consolidate our efforts towards achieving my vision to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles. I appreciate the combined efforts of the principal staff officers and other staff officers at the Army headquarters, the Infantry Corps and Center, and Headquarters 1 Division for painstaking coordination and arrangements put in place to have a successful conference. It is gratifying to note that the Nigerian Army within the first quarter of 2019 has performed creditably well, starting with the seizing of the initiative and turning the battle momentum against the Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast, and rounding up with the professional manner with which the Nigerian Army supported the civil authorities as part of our constitutional role to ensure the successful conduct of the 2019 general elections. The successful conduct of Exercise Egoike 3 and Operation Safe Conduct 2019 in support of the Nigeria police and civil authorities has contributed to strengthen the nation's democracy, considering the wide acceptability and credibility of the elections as espoused by key nations of the world, civil society organizations, as well as local and international observers and monitors. Despite reports of some alleged cases of infractions by some personnel which are being investigated by a high-level committee, I am elated with the encomiums and accolades showered on the Nigerian Army for the high level of professionalism exhibited in the conduct of the elections. I say well done to each and every one of you. I must also acknowledge the resilience and doggedness of our troops in reversing the ugly trends that almost marred our concerted efforts in the Northeast. As we are all aware, Boko Haram has aligned with the Islamic State West African province to make northern Borno and the general area of the Lake Chad Basin an enclave straddling the four countries in the region. Thus, the fight requires a combined holistic approach by the countries of the Lake Chad Commission to ensure the total defeat of both Boko Haram terrorists and the ISWAP. That is why Operation Yanchin Tabki was launched to effectively ensure the total destruction of the insurgents hibernating and operating from the Tumbus, with a view to crippling their ability and capability to wage any form of war. The operational successes recorded in this first quarter 2019 in this fight have further underscored the Nigerian Army's resolve to defend the territorial integrity of our dear country, Nigeria. Gentlemen, there is no doubt that we are engaged in asymmetric operations against terrorists side by side with the resurgence of kidnapping and armed banditry in the northwest as well as the north-central zones of our country. The strategy we used in the past to address such ugly trends in the southeast and the south-south regions must therefore be rejuvenated with new out-of-the-box ideas to address the current security challenges. This has necessitated the launching of the Operation Harbin Kunama 3. The concept of this operation will require the combat arms as well as all combat support and combat support services working in synergy with other security agencies, the traditional institutions and other stakeholders to get rid of criminal elements. We must ensure information flow that will be converted into actionable and timely intelligence for troops to take proactive measures and to support and drive targeted operations. It is important that commanders in the field relate with the society and other security agencies in their efforts to bring the high rate of kidnapping, acts of banditry and attacks on villages leading to killings in Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna and Katsina states to an end. There must be sustained synergy, cooperation and collaboration with all stakeholders in these endeavors. At this point, I will seize this opportunity to caution the media, especially in the social media, and the general public not to glorify bandits, armed robbers, kidnappers, and ethnic militias to the extent that they are seen as stronger than the military and other security agencies. The criminals and bandits are only as strong as the society paints or view them, and further propagated by the media. It is important to state that information and intelligence flows from the people and indeed from the press and the public. Such criminal activities are intelligence-based, and the people are in this regard to provide timely information and clear identifications of the perpetrators. Undue publicity and praise singing of the bandits and other criminal elements will only motivate them to commit more criminal acts at the detriment of the society. Therefore, the press, the general public, security analysts, and public commentators are advised to show more maturity and due diligence in this collective effort of ridding the country of criminals and criminalities. We are all aware that of recent there have been comments by different interest groups, civil society organizations, clergies, including pastors, imams, and sheikhs, on the state of security in the country. Many of these stakeholders have painted very gloomy pictures of the current security situation. While no one can deny the prevailing state of insecurity in some parts of the country, the situation has not degenerated to the disparate levels as claimed by the commentators. Every Nigerian, including the pastors, imams, and other stakeholders, have a part to play in the moral rectitude of the society. The state of insecurity in parts of the country is partly attributable to the moral decadence in the society, and our religious leaders have very important roles to play as our spiritual moral guardians, and custodians. Blaming the government and security agencies while not making expected moral contributions will certainly not bring an end to the security challenges we are facing today. Rather than blames, these religious leaders should pray for the criminals and the bandits to change their ways, and also to pray for the government and the security agencies to succeed in finding lasting solutions to the security challenges in the country and indeed globally. On our own part, we shall continue to conduct operations as necessary to mitigate identified challenges across the spectrum of our society. To effectively succeed in the conduct of operations, we must embark on realistic and effective training and establish operational units in line with Nigerian Army Order of Battle 2016. I am happy to observe that in line with my training directive for the year 2019, formations and units have commenced important activities such as the annual range classification, corporal and below competitions, and training of standby forces for emergency deployment, for local operations and peacekeeping operations. In the area of capacity building, we have sponsored several senior and junior officers on overseas courses, seminars, and workshops. We partnered with the Harvard Kennedy School of the United States of America to train 30 senior officers on leadership and strategic management at the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja. Similarly, in order to develop the intellectual capacity of our officers, we initiated the Chief of Army Staff's lecture series, which are held twice every month at the Nigerian Army Resource Center. This is aimed at bringing intellectuals, academia, captains of industries, and other notable individuals to speak on contemporary issues that will help build the intellectual capacity of personnel. In the area of field training, we sponsored a platoon of troops to Burkina Faso for exercise Flintlock, and 2 officers and 8 senior NCOs for the Africa-India exercise in India. I have also approved the conduct of a 1-week doctrinal and leadership seminar for junior leaders at Headquarters Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army. This is an innovative training for junior leaders as they will be tested in a two-sided manual wargaming exercise aimed at preparing them for operations. These and many more are efforts put in place to have professionally trained troops. To ensure troops are no longer battle fatigued, I have directed that fresh troops be injected into the theater of operations, while overstayed personnel are gradually being inducted. We have operationalized some new commands, schools, brigades, battalions, and forward operation bases. Some of them are the Nigerian Army Cyber Warfare School in Giri, the 63 Brigade Asaba, 98 Battalion, which is still oncoming, Nigerian Army Special Forces Logistics, and the forward operations Gembu. I have directed that the forward operation base Ode Ekiti be made operational, and also we now have the 19th Brigade and its units to operate deep into the insurgents' hideouts in northern Borno and the Lake Chad region. We have also established a center for counter-terrorism under the Nigerian Army University BU, essentially as a hub for comprehensive research on counter-terrorism. More establishment and units will come on stream in the nearest future as we implement the Order of Battle 2016. The Nigerian Army within the first quarter 2019 also established the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company with a view to developing our capability to produce our own vehicles, repair and carry out maintenance. I am glad to note that within the first quarter 2019, the company has made significant repairs of unserviceable equipment in support of Operation Lafia Dole, and indeed in support of Operation Harbin Kunama 3. The company is also on the verge of delivering unmade operational vehicles. This shows that it is only a matter of time before our military-industrial complex takes a firm route in line with Mr. President's directives. We have also established the Nigerian Army Land Forces Simulation Center. The Director General and some officers just came back from Turkey on an assessment and familiarization visit. When fully established, it will cater for all forms of simulations as a force multiplier for our training efforts and will reduce cost of training to a minimum. Furthermore, in a bid to promote information technology and in line with standard-based practices, the Nigerian Army has approved the use of a secure military unified communication system called the Nigerian Army Secured Information Platform. The Nigerian Army Secured Information Platform is designed to offer fast access, secure and timely delivery of voice, video and data communication links in real time. It is almost due for launching, but at the moment, all mails and correspondence to the Chief of Army Staff Office are sent through the upgraded Nawani platform, and my directives are also communicated via the same medium. This has further enhanced speed of transmission of directives and drastically reduced the circulation of large volumes of papers. I therefore urge you all to key into this innovation immediately. Gentlemen, an army needs logistic support to function optimally. To this effect, Mr. President has intervened promptly by authorizing concerted efforts through a government-to-government procurement policy to obtain critical platforms needed for our operations. This package, which is almost due for delivery, will also come with the technical training, content, and maintenance support. Similarly, to ensure adequate logistics support for our operations in the Northeast, we have established a new logistics base in Monguno, procured vehicles, motorcycles, ballistic helmets, fragmentation jackets, boots, and other clothing stores and general stores in support of our operations. Let me reiterate at this juncture that we remain very passionate about the welfare of our troops. I strongly believe that a well-motivated army is the bastion of military victory. In this conviction, I have pursued vigorously the construction, renovation, rehabilitation, and indeed the development of new structures for both officers and soldiers, their living quarters nationwide. I have also, within the period under review, directed the payment of the new ration cash allowance, operations and uniform allowance as approved by Mr. President. The Nigerian Army University Bill is fast developing in terms of academics and infrastructure. I have directed that the Nigerian Army constituency must be given preference in admission and job opportunities in the university. Similarly, the Nigerian Army Welfare Holdings Limited has established and incorporated several welfare-related companies that will be beneficial to personnel and their families. These include the Nigerian Army Farms and Ranches Limited, the International Livestock Market at Giri, Abuja, the Nolji Gasland Plant at Mambila Barracks, Abuja, agent banking in Nigerian Army Barracks, the Super Green Securities Limited, and the launching of the micro distribution centers of gas penetration plants in collaboration with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources. The plan is to replicate these laudable efforts nationwide. With these comprehensive welfare packages in place, I have no doubt that troops of the Nigerian Army will be motivated to give their best in the discharge of their constitutional responsibilities. Having mentioned some of the things achieved within the first quarter 2019, it is important for us during this conference to appraise our successes and also shortcomings with a view to preparing for the second quarter 2019. It is my desire to see the Nigerian Army well prepared to face the contemporary security challenges ahead. On this premise, I welcome the theme for this year's Combat Arms Training Week, which is leveraging land power for current and future warfare, the utility of the combat arms. I am convinced the various briefs and lectures program, as well as the discussion and interactive sessions that will follow, will provide workable solutions that will address the emerging security challenges and position the Nigerian Army for more effective service delivery towards providing secure environment for peace and unity in our country. To achieve this, commanders at all levels must be more proactive in their information gathering efforts and in processing the information into credible intelligence for operations. Commanders must also be innovative and prudent in the management of resources to ensure proper maintenance of equipment placed under their charge. Training of troops under command to ensure physical fitness and operational efficiency has to be paramount as we move into the second quarter of 2019. Distinguished colleagues, let me use this important occasion to pay tributes to the gallant officers and soldiers who, in obedience to our Constitution, have made the supreme sacrifice in line of duty within the period under review. They have, as patriotic Nigerians, fought bravely and as demanded of them. My condolences go to their families. We will never forget them, and we must ensure that the payment of their entitlements and the welfare of those they left behind remain priority. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. Finally, and with a high sense of responsibility and respect, I humbly express our profound gratitude to Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for his invaluable support to the Nigerian Army. I want to, on behalf of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army, once more pledge our total loyalty to Mr. President and our commitment to the defense of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Nigerian Army shall continue to remain apolitical, professional, and responsive in the discharge of its constitutional roles. On this note, I have the honor and privilege to declare the Chief of Army Staff's Fourth Quarter Conference and the Combat Arms Training Week 2019 open. Thank you and God bless.
The Chief of Army Staff.
That is the Chief of Army Staff's message to the First Quarter Conference holding in Jaji. As the conference now moves into a technical session, while the security experts deliberate on a way forward for better security engagement, which is not for public consumption, we will take leave from the live transmission here in Jaji and join our studios in Abuja for the continuation of our program.